There are many choices. I can tell. You prefer that the children stay in one place, and the grown-ups in the other group ever pondered what might be concealed underneath. And the glowing smile of David Bromstad? You've. David Bromstad brightened your day. TV screen with his contagious vitality, but have you ever questioned what? What's behind that smile? From a young man. 600 classmates openly harassed him to Anne. A source of inspiration for millions? His. It has not been an easy path. This is completely new. Well, having two is nice. Brand new restrooms. In this manner, that's not a cost. Nothing to do. Not working to perform. Alrighty. Okay. This video brings the truth closer to you. What actually took place with David Bromstad, the star of my dream house from the lottery, and why? Does he still radiate light through it? All? A little security was all I desired. Thus, yes, you must take into account all the aspects of your existence. Yes, I believe will be overjoyed, and I'm grateful. You are amazing, which is why I love you. David Bromstad was raised in the tiny Cokato, Minnesota, in a profoundly classic Scandinavian American home. At an early age, he showed kindness, a fondness for art, as well as a disposition that made him separate from his classmates. These attributes made him the focus of seclusion and bullying, particularly in high school, when discrimination against sexual orientation remained firmly anchored in the neighborhood. In an interview conducted in 2008 with David remembered a horrible event in Out magazine. Remember the school lunchtime cafeteria? More than 600 pupils made lewd gestures at the same time at him in a concerted public display of humiliation. The astonishment increased when the principal, the individual intended to defend pupils, participated and appeared to, captured by the crowd and oblivious to the severe suffering brought on by his acts. David referred to the situation as daylight hell. In the ensuing months, David survived. With self-doubt and anxiety, no grown-up stepped in. There was nowhere safe to disclose his sentiments, and he progressively retreated into oneself with emotional wounds that it would take years to recover. In the same discussion, without David acknowledging that he suffered with depression for the majority of his 20s, a time when a lot of people travel the world and discover their identity, but he was only attempting to endure. In that seclusion, art turned into his lone place of safety. David started to utilize color and design to create, talk to himself, and to repair the internal wounds. The vivid hues and vibrant designs that viewers subsequently saw on, in fact, television came from the gloomy formative years. They weren't merely ornamental decisions. They were acts of artistic defiance by someone they had suffered and been silenced. Do you? Yes, I do. It's stunning. I adore the hue among these cabinets. Really, it's simply this. Creamy, warm, and lovely. It's simply pleasant rather than. This is the reason why people say the brightness that viewers now perceive in David wasn't something that came naturally to him. He made something by going through, learning to shine from the shadows, inside. From Disney to fame on television, prior to being well known on, David Bromstad had a dream about television, pursuing a career in Disney animation following Ringling College of Art graduation, and design, an esteemed art form, and Florida Animation School. He was able to your aspiration and become a member of the most renowned animation studio worldwide. Using a passion for drawing and a diligent work ethic, David quickly became accustomed to Disney's extremely competitive setting for creativity. That happiness was short-lived, following a huge round of layoffs brought on by financial. David lost his job during the slump. Losing. He was thrown adrift by that fantasy role. It was more than the demise of a promising career. It was a crisis of the heart. His money, identity, as well as faith in the future was all up for debate. It was a challenging chapter, yet it turned into a pivotal moment of his life. Not wanting to, David gave up and turned to face the interior design, an area in which his artistic sensibility with a strong sense of color worked great for him. He started a tiny business that specializes in creating children's spaces with vibrant artistic flair. There was no financial success right away. Nevertheless, with that effort, he continued honing his craft and investigating many styles, and progressively creating a striking, vibrant design identity that was. It was definitely his own. In 2006, a companion urged David to submit an application for a new HGTV. Design Star is a reality show. It looked for designers with powerful personality as well as charisma on camera. David went into the contest with modest standards, yet his audacious fashion sense and a genuine appearance on screen swiftly made. He stands out from the hundreds of competitors. He not only made it to he won the first season's finals convincingly. That triumph changed his existence. From an animator who was laid off at David, a rising star on Disney, cable television in the United States, HGTV provided Color Splash, his own program, which made its debut in 2007. Throughout the years, Color Splash made a powerful statement because of David's lively, imaginative designs. Every episode developed into an artistic statement in which he employed color, not just to embellish, but to convey feelings. Tales. 2015 saw HGTV hire David to host My Lottery Dream Home once more, where he assists lottery winners in identifying their ideal homes. The show moved swiftly, became popular due to more than just its distinctive idea, but since David was the center of it, his warmth, humor, and profound his compassion for the visitors made him a favorite with the audience. His path from a Disney artist removed from a popular television show symbol wasn't a coincidence. It was as a result of ongoing innovation, changing, turning obstacles into opportunities, and always remaining loyal to himself. Bromstad, David, has consistently produced stunning insights. He has provided motivation to anyone who is lost, demonstrating that failure does not necessarily mean the end. It may serve as the gateway to something far bigger, brilliant. Legal fights and love. During the period when David Bromstad's a successful television career was made possible by My Dream Home from Lottery and Unexpected. Crisis did not arise from the press or admirers, but from a former close him. David's father, Jeffrey Glasso, lifelong associate and former partner, brought a case before the Florida State Court, making a number of grave accusations pertaining to David's private life and money. In the document, Glasgow charged David of ending a partnership similar to establishing a union and abusing their common assets related to prostitution and narcotics, referring especially to wild sex, drugs, partying, and hiring men as escorts. According to Glasgow, these actions resulted in the breakdown of their partnership and looked for monetary settlement and allocation of property. The word swiftly got around about entertainment venues like Radar. The rap and sarcasm on the internet surprising David's following. It wasn't a surprise, little larger than the lawsuit's scope, although. Additionally, the accusation's character against a person renowned for his upbeat, glossy, expertly produced television persona. Although many celebrities choose to react promptly in an attempt to maintain control, the story, David made a distinct approach. Total quiet. There wasn't news conference, no posts on social media, and no rebuttal in public. He permitted the legal system to deal with the issue completely. Following several months of legal, alternating, in April of 2016, the Miami-Dade County Court threw out the whole instance. The judge decided that the allegations were unfounded and devoid of convincing proof. Furthermore, the court mandated Glasgow, in order to pay for legal costs for misusing the legal procedure to injure someone else's reputation for selfish motives. David's legal team broke the quiet for the first time. In a comment quoted by Radar Online, his attorney claimed these startling claims were made by a desperate individual. This case that was completely rejected, and the judge placed the plaintiff under sanctions. The negative statements are made up and untrue in an attempt to harm Mr. Bromstad's reputation. David himself, in a unique, oblique allusion to the incident, appeared on Instagram with a mysterious message I discovered at the end of 2016 that timely. Sometimes the most effective action is to remain silent. Although he did not name anyone, numerous saw the post as his silent and stern method of ending a difficult chapter. Regarding Jeffrey Glasgow, he made no additional remarks made in public following the case was discarded. They broke up, both romantically and professionally as well. What might have been a terrible setback to David Bromstad's Public perception eventually brought attention to his poise, fortitude, and maturity. Rather than responding emotionally or initiating a counteroffensive in the media, David trusted the rule of law, and that silent, self-assured decision became his clearest indication of genuine integrity. To be seen, you don't have to shout. A string of individual problems. While the general populace was still in shock over the case involving his ex-partner, David Bromstad encountered a fresh batch of extremely private difficulties. This time involves his closest relatives and companions. From 2015 to 2016 too, there were serious crises. In a flash, his biological father was his heir, critically ill in the hospital, and a long-standing companion experienced a hemorrhagic stroke. David broke the news first. Regarding his father's health in a January 2016 Facebook post, he explained in depth that his dad was having serious cardiac problems with a 136 beats per minute at rest, a dangerously high level. Physicians were keeping an eye on him. Proximity because to the possibility of seizures and a possible heart attack. David penned, his cardiac valves are breaking down. His pulse is erratic. They are closely monitoring to avoid stroke and seizures. The article showed not just his concern as a son, but also how close his family is to him, something that is rarely observed behind his glitzy television persona. Not quite a. David had been rattled a year earlier by one more painful incident. His lengthy Greg Gerard, a buddy, suffered a brain bleeding and ended up in critical state. David remained with Greg in the initial phases of recuperation and even oversaw a drive to raise money to assist pay for his medical bills. On social media, as well as in subsequent interviews, David shown that each day's physical a step toward rehabilitation is therapy. Fans were regularly informed on Greg's positive and uplifting themes of assistance, demonstrating genuine concern, not only for Greg, but for anyone fighting in silence, sickness. These two consecutive events, one of which involved a family member, the other a close buddy, David's family, threw him into an extreme emotional tension. Instead of griping or avoiding himself, he decided to attend people he cared about. For a moment, he stopped his entertainment events, withdrawing from television and media appearances, endeavored to give his complete attention to family. What struck a chord with the public wasn't limited to David's commitment. Despite his calm approach to grieving, power and resolute presence, there were no planned or theatrical announcements, media appearances, but only fleeting, sincere updates and the sincere dedication of a buddy and a son, rebirth following a crisis. After a string of individual disruptions and extended work-related, David Bromstad took a silent step under tension, away from the spotlight for a while. Time. He went on to say on TV that show up with his trademark radiant smile and lively fashion. On social media, where he used to be rather active, he was almost non-existent for a long time. Extend. Not until 2023, however, did David started showing up again on Instagram, sharing more introspective, intimate, and reflective material. Among one of the most notable events was his picture in Norway standing atop Reinabringen, taken following a strenuous hike. In the caption, I've experienced a great deal in recent years. I will share currently, but when I'm ready, it feels amazing to be completely composed, live in the moment and doing what I was intended to do, to survive. Instead of fleeing the history, he decided to confront it honestly and silence. He didn't paint himself in a more favorable manner, nor did he depict himself as a victim. His subsequent posts regarding mood regulation, healthy routines, and mental equilibrium showed that David had not only survived challenging periods, he had realized who he was, deeper as a result of them. 1. There was a discernible change in his usage of social media. After then, there were fewer events, images, more commonplace times, gardening, cooking, going for walks, and beautifying his house. Every post has a serene, soft, nearly tone of meditation. His reason for posting was to perform, but now to Make contact. That silent presence wasn't boring. David's plea. It increased his, profound in his audience's perspective. And after that, a different David. Bromstad started to appear. Lively, unrestricted, and authentic. Following years of ongoing change, difficulties, and development as a person, David Bromstad has emerged as an entirely new, a different version of himself. Bright, audacious, and bursting with individuality. Not just a TV anymore. Host, he's become a livelihood, emblem of the freedom of expression. And important, a pivotal moment in David's life occurred when, in the winter, he bought his ideal house, Park, Florida. The house is more than, containing 5 bedrooms and 2,800 square feet, 4 restrooms. Additionally, each interior, he himself selected the details. The house is more than just a property, acts as a powerful assertion of the way of life he's created through his travel. Daring, colorful, and deeply individual. Each and every piece of furniture, each wall art narrates a tale regarding the road to healing, rediscovery, and the satisfaction of doing what he enjoys. This, David's living area, is a fantastic reflection of public image, his extravagant attire, elaborate designs, distinctive embellishments. These constantly shifting hairstyles are all thoughtful decisions. For David, style is more than simply aesthetics. It serves as a tool for articulating his philosophy of life. He once stated in an HGTV interview, I wear what makes me feel. Each day I select an alternative method of expression. Personally, and I think that's really freeing. This flexibility in his self-expression allows him to intriguing and recognizable because nothing about his lifestyle feels formulaic or coerced. In addition to his role as my Lottery Dream Homes host, additionally, David has been developing his own brand, which consists of a range of furnishings, posters, and ornamental items bearing his name, flair for design. These goods aren't intended for the general public. Therefore, those who value audacity and individualized artistic expression in their daily lives. Gaps. He revealed, I wish to incorporate my transforming imaginative energy into objects that people can take home and genuinely claim as their own. David's present existence is similarly encircled by deep, enduring connections. He has frequently highlighted the significance of family members and close friends in supporting him. Maintain your composure and lucidity in a cacophonous planet. On social media, he regularly publishes basic daily moments, preparing food, caring for animals, gardening, and wall painting as methods to keep depth and balance in the face of the rapid speed of the entertainment sector. Another significant feature of David's voyage is his newfound position as a community symbol, HGTV's first publicly. He's a gay host who has frequently appeared on the yearly list of Out 100 Out magazine, honoring prominent LGBTQ+, people who have a good influence, society. Although he might not be explicitly political, his dependable, genuine, and effective presence has turned into a strong source of motivation for numerous young individuals looking for the strength to survive. Honestly, David Bromstad is currently living a steady and happy life, both on a personal and professional level. He continues to be devoted to My Lottery Dream Home, the program that changed his life, becoming a well-known brand and keeps increase his impact as a creative, business design endeavors and brand, partnerships that showcase his lively, beautiful. Lately, he collaborated with the Grandin Road furniture brand to introduce a line of home decor that perfectly captures his audacious artistic character. The assortment is not just vibrant and expressive, but also accessible and useful, which makes it a ideal depiction of David's goal to make every day more joyful, living by design. In addition to his job, David is very focused on preserving one's physical and mental health. He frequently provides snippets of his mindfulness and healthy way of living, social media procedures, providing encouragement and inspiration to fans who admire not only his talent, but also his authenticity and self-care journey. In his personal life, he is in a happy relationship with Nicholas Martin, a French massage therapist he met during a trip to Paris in 2021. Their bond has grown stronger with time, and the two frequently post peaceful, everyday moments that reveal a side of David, who is not just successful, but also grounded, centered, and genuinely at peace and love. In recent interviews and online posts, David has expressed a growing interest in developing more personal creative projects, especially ones aimed at inspiring others to live boldly and authentically. He is also working on plans to write a book and launch digital content centered around the theme of being yourself, a message he believes is more relevant than ever for younger generations navigating a complex world. Through all the ups and downs, David Bromstad remains a tireless creator and an unapologetically true, a different version of himself. And this might just be the most aspirational version we've ever seen. His story is not one of sudden success, but of resilience, transformation, and radical self-acceptance. David Bromstad does not require huge announcements to assert who he is. It is the way he lives steadfastly, honestly, and without dodging the traumatic chapters of his history that leaves a lasting impression. He has not only overcome adversity, but transformed it into the cornerstone of a life rich in character, depth, and inspiration. What a portion of David's tale caused you to think most? Tell us in the comments below. And if this adventure strikes a chord, hit like, subscribe, and share with you watching this video with your loved ones and society. Many thanks for observing through to the conclusion. See you later, once more in a different narrative. Farewell.